So today we're going to be making a very quick venison stir fry. This is about 2 pounds of venison cubed steak. We have washed it, drained it, and then cut it into smaller size pieces. First thing we're going to do, we're going to take some of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 of these large red peppers. We're going to crack them in this bowl. Take the stems off, crack them in the bowl, and put some hot water on them. And let them sit in that water for a little bit. Second thing we're going to do, we're going to take our onion, just going to chop it into bigger size pieces after we peel this. Now we're just going to chop our onion into 4. Just kind of take out some of those bigger pieces, right? And then just kind of put them like that. We don't necessarily have to take all of them out once they go into the pan. That's going to happen as well. So we just do that with onions. Just going to leave them here for a second. Once we have those chopped, we're going to move towards our green chilies, and all we really want to do with them is just cut them in half so they don't pop in the hot oil when we put them in there, right? So we can just cut them up like this. You don't necessarily have to go with size. Some of these bigger pieces I'll just cut into 2. All 3, and then with our garlic, we have 2 big pieces right here. I'm just going to take those off. One. Just going to peel them. Now we're just going to slice it into rough pieces. It doesn't have to be extra thin or extra slim or anything of that sort. It just needs to be roughly chopped. So we're done with our prep ingredients. Now let's move to marinating the venison. So for marinating the venison, we're actually going to use 3 ingredients that we're going to crush right here fresh. 2 tablespoons of cumin. Sorry, 1 tablespoon of whole black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of crushed red pepper. So we're going to put all of these in here. Okay. That's that. Let's grind them up real quick. Here's what they should look like. They shouldn't be fine, they should be a little coarse, and that's totally okay. So put them right on top of the meat, right there. That's good. That takes care of that. 1 tablespoon of salt, or to your taste and liking. And now 2 other ingredients. One is sesame oil, and you can use any kind that you want. So I'm going to use 2 teaspoons right here, and this is going to give it a really nice aroma. And the second thing that we're using is Mongolian fire oil. This is optional, you don't have to do it. And what I do is I sprinkle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just some dabs, just to kind of give it some flavor. So these 2 things are all done. One additional ingredient that we're gonna put in there, is going to be a full teaspoon of tablespoon of garlic powder. And that's it. Now we're just going to use our hands to kind of just put all of this stuff together and marinate it very well into the meat. That sesame oil, all of these spices are really going to get in there with the garlic and the cumin. This is really going to be very, very, very flavorful. It's already starting to smell very nice as well. You can see how lean the venison is. I'm just kind of going in there and making sure that all of these spices and the oils are very well mixed together. All right, so that about does it. Now off to the wok we go. But the temperature is still very low. So here we have our wok, and we have it turned on, but it's on low heat right now because I'm gonna add some oil and then I'm gonna turn up the heat. So first thing we're gonna do is grab some olive oil. Just enough to make sure that it's enough to go around the pan. Now I'm going to turn up the heat to medium to medium high. I'm going to turn it up to high, and then I'm going to add some sesame oil. And this you can add per your liking. I like a lot of sesame oil, that's why I add a little bit more in my dishes. Now let's turn the heat up to make sure that it gets hot. We want the pan to be really nice and hot before we put in our garlic, and and I'm trying to make sure that I'm coating the pan with both of those oils very well. And here, just waiting for it to get hot. We're going to add our garlic. And right away, you can hear some of that sizzle. That tells me that the oil is getting there, and this is absolutely the right time to add the garlic. So that as the temperature of the oil rises, the garlic releases its oils as it gets cooked as well. You don't necessarily have to brown the garlic, you just have to make sure it's just cooked a little bit. Okay, so while this is cooking, I'm going to go and grab our venison. And at this point in time, it's really important to make sure that our temperature remains on high as I put some of this venison in there. That's the sound you want to hear whenever you put your meat into the pan. Make sure that it gets cooked quickly, nicely, unload the fat. Give it a little bit more. Now as it's getting cooked, keep on adding some more to the pan itself. As you can see, high heat. That's why it's really important to make sure so the pan continues to be on high heat, because if it's not, the temperature in the pan is going to drop, because the meat's going to make the temperature of the pan drop, and you're not going to get the level of cooking that you're looking for. Aspect, found a little space right here. I'm going to adjust it. I'll take this away. Our green chilies go in at this time. I would drain and the soaking red chilies that have been drained go in at this time as well. Again, as you can see, the heat still on high. I'm going to give it a quick swirl to make sure all the meat, just all of those juices, gets cooked evenly. All the sides. The aroma is just insane. Now is the time for me to add a little bit more of this Mongolian fire oil. Just sprinkle that around. I like my dishes spicy, so that's fine. As you can see, all of this cooking is being done in high heat. I have not turned the heat down. And that's how it needs to be. This needs to cook quickly, and this needs to cook in high heat. Just a little bit of water, but it's going to dry out pretty quick. I have my onion sitting right here. I'm just going to give it a minute or so in high heat before I put those in there. And I'll add the onions. See all of those ingredients kind of coming together. The onions and the red chilies and the venison and everything else. And at this stage, you can add bell peppers, you can add other things too, for whatever your preference is. We just happen to like onions a lot more than any of the other veggies, so we just added that. There you go. In about 1 minute, this is going to be done. And we're going to take it out and show it to you. In the meantime, let me grab some cilantro. Fresh cilantro. That's going to really brighten up our dish and kind of bring out and bring together a lot of the flavors, the complexity, the flavors that we have added to this dish right here. And here we go. Quick, easy venison stir fry. And here it is, the finished product, venison stir fry, and you can serve it with white rice.